Welcome to The Point Show with your host, Darren Barker.
We did learn a lot of what we do from our parents. And there is a lot of what they did that does work.
As a father, teacher, writer, and entrepreneur, Darren Barker, founder and developer of this exciting system, shares with you some valuable insights to help promote more beneficial relationships between parents and children.
Have fun. Darren is a very motivational, funny person. So you can have fun. Don't feel like your question is a crazy question, because I bet you that next parent got the same question. Our kids, we love them all, but they're giving us a hard time. And so we're all in this boat together, okay? If you don't have kids, if they're gone off to college, I know you got grandchildren. But if you're in churches and schools, you got kids, okay? So it takes a village to raise a child. So this time I'll bring on Darren Barker, the CEO and president, facilitator of Parent Point. Let's give him a hand as he comes. I really am grateful and thankful that you were inspired to create the system, because, you know, I was at one of your seminars, and I was very skeptical about the system because I am a single parent,
right.
You know, and I have 3 children, and I'm thinking there is no way in the world that some system is going to work for my children.
Right.
And the problem that I was facing at that time was my 7-year-old son was having some severe, you know, self-esteem issues and emotional issues, and they were starting to spill over at school.
Right.
And your seminar was that Saturday. That Friday, I had just had a conference with his teacher, and she was going on and on that she had sent him to the counselor, and he just, you know, was just not going to be able to stay in class and all of these kind of things. And basically, they were getting ready to label him,
right.
you know, as, you know, a problem child. And, you know, I came that Saturday, got the system, implemented it that weekend, and that Monday, you know, I listened to you, you know, you like said it kind of high when you first started to kind of motivate him, you know, and I remember telling Josiah, you know, hey, if you come home, you know, and the teacher and I had conferenced, you know, that Monday.
Right.
I had asked her, you know, to indicate on a behavior document every day to me how many breakdowns that he was having, emotional breakdowns that he was actually having, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, because we were basically at probably about 5 to 7 every day.
Right.
And when he got in the car, you know, I had told him that he would get 1,000 points, you know, if he, you know, came home with a 0. And when he came around the corner, he had the biggest smile on his face.
Right.
And I thought, oh, God, he did it. And he got in the car, he said, Mama, guess what I got today? And I was like, what did you get, Josiah? He was like, I got something less than 10. I was like, oh, God, this thing didn't work. I knew it wasn't going to work.
Right.
Then he says, I got a 0. And, you know, I just started screaming and got emotional and cried, because this is something that we have been really struggling with and dealing with.
Right.
And when I tell you that from 7:50 that morning till I came to pick him up, that it worked. And it has not stopped working to this day. Actually, what I've found now is that he is actually modifying his own behavior. You know, if he does, you know, get a 1 or, you know, something like that, he gets in the car and he doesn't have the emotional breakdowns anymore. He goes, well, Mama, you know what? I always got tomorrow. I can get my 0 back tomorrow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right, and I mean, just the comments from the teacher, she has just been, you know, awed, you know, from, you know, the things that she's seen in his behavior and on his report cards, and his principal has even, you know, commented that he is just like another child since he's been on the point system. So, again, I say thank you for being inspired and for putting the inspiration out there and putting it in the system, because it does work.
Now,
really
Mashonda, what is a 0, or what does that mean?
That means that he had no breakdowns, no emotional issues, no anything. It means that he kept himself contained, that he spoke positive about whatever the situation was, and really what it means is that he was actually challenged that day.
Right.
With some kind of situation that would normally set him into an emotional breakdown or an emotional fit.
Right.
And that he was able to maintain himself, speak positive, and, you know, not break down.
Oh, okay.
That's what the 0 means. It means that he actually had self-discipline at that point, you know, and that he actually displayed that self-discipline, and she knew that it had to be self-discipline because the situation had presented itself that he normally would have an emotional breakdown.
again, another story of a friend of mine, now that you're referring to the older children. She has a 14-year-old son.
Right.
And she's a single mother, and she tried the system also. And
Right.
her child has been labeled as ADHD.
Okay.
And she had gone through the boot camps, the counseling, she was at her wit's end, and she tried the points method. And when I say, she said that it was like 2,000 pounds had been lifted off of her.
Now, do you think it'll be possible that we might be able to get her on the show one day?
Oh, sure. I'm sure she would love to share it with your listeners, her story, because it's very inspirational to hear all the things that she went through, and, the pain and the suffering and the prayers and everything, just asking people, trying anything that she knew and everything everybody had told her, and nothing really worked, nothing stuck until she tried the parent points method, and I can say until this day, it still works.
Right.
And this child is 14 years old. So, and this is, you were saying, you kind of, because I know people are going to be skeptical, because you tried yours, with them growing up. She implemented this at the age of 14.